Trump School of Distraction. Ready, Laura? Yes. Okay, we're recording. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Art with Liz. First, I want to start off by saying thank you to the Hoboken Public Library for sponsoring these wonderful hybrid classes that allow us to meet here in person at the beautiful Hoboken Library, and also from the comfort of your home studio. We are also live streaming on YouTube. It's pretty awesome. Thank you to the Hoboken Library for encouraging our creative energy. This is the month of September, and during the month of September, my theme has been Liz's favorite artists. I started doing this last year, and I think I'm going to make it an annual theme because it's a lot of fun for me. Our artist for today is Michelangelo Buonarroti. He was a huge influence on me in my very early life, and we are going to look at a slideshow of his work, and I'm going to talk briefly about the little I know about his life and his process. First, though, I want to briefly talk about our art show. Those of you who are members of this art class, you know that we have an art show this coming Saturday, September 21st. Anyone who is in this art class is eligible to show their work. There are a few things you must do, though, in order to be in the show. You can either drop off your work today during this class, or if you can't make it now, you can drop off your work at the art show this Saturday, but no later than 9 a.m. Your work must either be framed or in a plastic sleeve, and it should be labeled with your first and last name, the dimensions of your work, the media of your work, and the price of your work. If you're not selling your work, it is tradition to put NFS, not for sale. Any questions about any of this, you can ask me during class time. You can send me a question in the chat box. You can email me, or you can contact Laura if you're here today. She's sitting at the back, or you can email her as well. I'm going to put my email address in the chat box in a moment, but I think most of you who are on our email list know my email address by now. All right. So, and if you want lunch, the library, we got to love this library, is supplying us with lunch. If you are participating in the art show and you know definitely that you will be there for lunch this Saturday, the art show runs from 11 till 3, please let Laura know today. And I can't stress this enough. Make sure you're definitely going to be there, because I think it would be kind of sad if you say you're going to be there for lunch and then you don't show up. I mean, right? That's a significant financial outlay for the library for you to say you want it and then not show up. So please make sure you're definitely going to be there for lunch. All right, on from the art show. I'm going to share the screen. Now, this is a little homemade slideshow that I made, as usual. Again, as I've always said, for those of you who are repeat attendees to this class, I am not an art historian. I appreciate and love art. It is my passion. I don't know all the facts about Michelangelo's life. I know just a thimbleful of the amount of information there is out there about him. There is a truckload of written material about Michelangelo, and I encourage everyone to look him up. Those of you who know more than I do, please, you can interject at any point in this conversation, either in the chat box, or you can use the hand raise icon, or those of you who are here in class, you can call out with further information or corrections and let me know. All right, Michelangelo, and those of you who speak Italian, looking at Dina, you can correct my terrible Italian at any time. But I do love attempting to speak Italian, but it's not great. Here we go. Michelangelo. Oh, and I should start by saying, why have I chosen Michelangelo? Why is he one of my favorites? As an 11-year-old child, I was gifted with this tome of a book, picture book about Michelangelo. The photographs of his work blew me away. And there was a section on his drawings that were so exquisitely beautiful. I think, always known since I was 7 that I wanted to be an artist. But looking at Michelangelo's work was the clincher for me. I absolutely was convinced that if there was a human being that could do what he could do, I had to try and do the same. So that's why we're looking at Michelangelo's work today. Have I ever achieved even close to the level of skill that Michelangelo has? No. But has that stopped me from loving artwork and trying to get better at my own art? Absolutely not. I will continue to strive to do the best art that I can. All right, so here we go. I'm going to show the slideshow, and then I have an art project for us to do today on our own, inspired by Michelangelo. I hope you'll be as inspired as I am. First of all, he was born, can't even find that at the moment. He was born March 6, 1475. And he was an Italian sculptor, painter, architect, and poet of the High Renaissance. He was born in the Republic of Florence, and his work has been considered a major influence in the development of Western art, particularly in relation to the Renaissance's notions of humanism and naturalism. And let's get rid of this. So this is of course, very, very famous part of the Sistine Chapel painted by Michelangelo of God just about to touch the forefinger of Adam and send the spark of life into Adam's body. Look at the absolutely breathtakingly beautiful rendering of Adam's figure, the musculature, the use of shading, the warm tone of the flesh. What do you think? Pretty magnificent, right? It's hard to not like Michelangelo. He's often considered a contender for the title of the archetypal Renaissance man, along with his rival and elder contemporary, Leonardo da Vinci. Just by nature of the fact of the volume of work that he created, huge, huge amount of work. It's important to know that he worked from life. He didn't try and recreate from memory. Like us, whenever possible, I encourage you to work from actual living human beings. not trying to draw realistically from memory or even photographs. We use photographs when we don't have a model available. If you want to learn how to draw realistically, working by looking at a living human being, well, hopefully living. Some of the Renaissance artists, including Leonardo, worked with corpses. Living from a real body, looking at a real body is the best way to learn how to draw realistically. He was the first Western artist who had a biography published while he was still alive. In fact, there were 2 biographies published in his lifetime. I think that's kind of interesting. He was born into a family of generations of bankers, although the bank that his father worked at failed, and his father became a government official. Tragically, early in his life, Michelangelo's mother died, but ironically, that turned out to be kind of lucky for him because he was sent to live with a nanny who was married to a stonecutter. And voila, that's when he fell in love with marble, or so he said. He told that to his biographer, Giorgio Vasari. He told him that that's where he fell in love with marble, in the stone quarry near where he grew up. So this is the famous Pietà. I was lucky enough to first see this right here in New York City at the World's Fair in Flushing, Queens. I went actually and saw it 3 times with my family. I was around 11 years old, I think, or younger. You went too? I can go 3 times. Yeah. One of the things I remember most about it, it was covered with this piece of plexiglass, and the piece of plexiglass was covered with fingerprints because people were so busy trying to touch it. This sculpture looks so lifelike. I mean, it almost looks like it could be breathing. So it lives now in Rome at the Vatican, or St. Peter's. The Vatican is not quite accurate, but it's St. Peter's, the cathedral in Rome. And the attention to detail that Michelangelo showed in all his work is what really makes his work look so lifelike and real. You can see the ribs in Jesus's torso. It's amazing. You can see the bones in his feet, the fingernails on his hands and his toenails. You can actually see them carved into the marble. The hairs in his beard. It's extraordinary. The folds in Mary's gown, her dress, and her headdress. It's exquisite. And I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to carve in marble. To get this kind of detail is very, very, very difficult. Marble is one of the harder stones to work with. So the man had a gift. He did. Was he born knowing how to do this, however? No. He had to practice, he had to study, and he had to keep at it his whole life. And he was never satisfied with his work. So we artists today are not the only ones who are never happy with our work. Try and remember that. This is his most famous work of art, the David. Now lives in Florence. It is enormous, way larger than life. I don't have any of the statistics for you. You can look it up. The favorite part of the story about the David is that it is flawed proportionally. Michelangelo worked with a block of marble that had a huge crack in it. And in order to avoid the crack, Michelangelo had to distort the figure and twist the body in a way that made it not realistic. Who cares? Who really cares? Because the beauty of the figure is beyond belief. Beyond belief. So it's one of the most renowned works of the Renaissance. And Michelangelo made it after a period of time that he spent outside of Florence. Florence had been under siege by France. The Emperor of France wanted to control Florence, but failed. And Michelangelo had been living in Rome while Florence had been under siege. And he actually carved the Pietà while he was in Rome and came back to Florence and created the David in 1504. Did I get that wrong?
No.
Oh.
I mean, yes. Great. The head is larger.
And the head is larger than it.
Just for the height of it.
Oh, okay.
It looked like he had a pinhead.
Okay.
You have to.
In order to accommodate the size of the figure, he had to enlarge the head. See how it's nice to have an art historian with you. Cool. And didn't they made a fake David also at one point because they were worried this was going to get damaged or.
Right, because in the Casa della Signoria in Florence, they couldn't just leave this out. No.
Right.
So they had a fake one. Which is
right.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Right. The fake one looks almost as good as the real one. Right. So the way Michelangelo made his living was he was commissioned by wealthy patrons, usually from the Medici family. They were popes and cardinals and heads of state, and they would commission him to make these magnificent works of art. They didn't always pay on time, so sometimes he struggled financially, but I think he did pretty well, right, Dina? Compared to most artists of his day. I hope so too. This is the famous Moses, also in St. Peter's. Look at the hair of his beard. I mean, if you get to see it in person, you'll be just wowed by the fact that you can almost see every hair carved into the marble. This one's a little infamous for the fact that it looks like Moses has horns coming out of his head, but in fact, they're meant to represent rays of light emanating or flowing from Moses's head.
That's how the movement got started, that Jews have horns.
Right.
My father was asked that in the army. Where are your horns at, boy?
Right, that's what I'm saying. This is infamous. This sculpture is infamous for that. Yeah, thanks, Susan. But look, you can see the veins in Moses' hand, every muscle in his biceps. I mean, it's just incredible work of art. And as a young girl, you could see why I would be so excited about being an artist after looking at something of this power and beauty. And I hope you feel the same today. So this is the full and complete Sistine Chapel. We looked at the detail of God touching Adam's finger earlier. And the other fascinating thing about this work of art was that the ceiling itself, he worked on his back to paint. So this was an extraordinary physical feat for him to complete. He had, I think, Dina, back problems for the rest of his life. Am I right about that? After completing this?
Pretty old when he finished it anyway. There wasn't that much of the rest of his life.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah. And he did most of it himself, right? He didn't have too many assistants.
So we always think of him alone there, but I think
He had some assist. Yeah. Talk about mind-boggling. It really is. This also is in Rome.
Yeah, Last Judgment, on the far wall. Unbelievable for its time. I mean, it was politically daring and also very abstract in a way.
Yes.
Very surreal.
Because he actually had faces of actual political figures in the, yes. So he took risks. He took political as well as aesthetic risks in his work. He made some enemies in his day. All right, so now we're on to the drawings, which really take my breath away. Things that I want you folks today to pay particular attention to are the proportions of, look how notice please, look how large the eye is in relation to the rest of the face. The eye is large. Us beginning artists, we tend to make eyes small. Look at the size of the eye in relation to the size of the nose. From the bridge of the nose to the tip is one eye length. So those kinds of relationships are important. Look at where the ear sits, the corridor of the eyebrow to the tip of the nose. Look at his use of shading. There's no dark outline around the nose. It's all done with light and dark. He models the nose almost as if he's carving it out of a piece of stone, but he's doing it with whatever drawing equipment he used here. Some kind of crayon, right, Dina?
Red chalk.
Red chalk. So he used red chalk. Thanks, Dina.
That was a woman. Yeah, it was a man, but
well, he had mainly male models, right? So it's a woman, but it does look kind of mannish. Look at this. Again, the details, the rippling muscles, the ribs, the light and dark. That's what makes it look so real. Even if the proportions were off in this, which they're not, it's the details that really make it look real.
Also, just the foot and the leg, how it's all pivoting on that foot and
yes,
on that foot.
Yes, everything is relying on that big toe, really, on that foot. Yeah. It's amazing. And the dark outline on the right-hand side of the figure is just, I think, so beautiful. The fluidity of that dark line from the shoulder on the right all the way down to the ankle. All right, we're going to go through a little quicker now. Notice the dark shading under the lip. Notice how the inner portion of the lip is lighter and brighter than the outer edges, what I've been teaching you for so long. The shading around the eyes and the shading at the bridge of the nose. There is no dark outline to form the nose. It is all done with light and dark. Okay? It's almost as if he's modeling it with clay or carving it out of marble. It's the same sensibility. To make something 3D on a flat two-dimensional surface, you must model with the shading if you want it to look real. You can do a beautiful line drawing, but it will appear flat and not three-dimensional. That's the difference. Love the drapery in this one. Half of these he probably just threw down on the floor, right? Luckily, they were found and preserved. Look at this. That negative space, right? God, just look at this. And Bill this morning, when he did a pose like this, and he had this shape here that was fantastic. Oh, I think this might be the last. Yeah. So that's our last slide. Any thoughts or ideas before I go on to our assignment for today? What do you say about Michelangelo? You're speechless, right? Speechless. He died, I should mention, he died, come on, Liz, 18th of February, 1564. Huge influence on so many artists who came after him. I mean, it's endless, 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 endless. He was often called Il Divino, the divine one, and he was incredibly admired. He and Da Vinci, of course, had a terrible rivalry. All right, so we don't have a model with us today, but I do want us to draw figures. I mean, I could model, but that means I can't come around to help you. What do you want? I could put a photograph up on the screen. You want to do that? Okay, so I'm going to go to my Misty Copeland folder and find us a picture of her. So while I'm doing that, here's some choices. Those of you who have brought art for the art show, this is a good time, Laura, right? Yeah. Bring your artwork back to Laura, and she will show you where you can place it to be stored for the art show. Also check in with her about whether or not you want lunch, and check in with her to make sure your first and last names are spelled correctly. The library is also making labels for our artwork to put on our artwork for the art show. So make sure your first and last name is spelled correctly. There are also some plastic sleeves available for those of you who don't have them. There's a bag back by the window over there with elephant on it, right behind Sally. I'm pointing towards Sally because the bag is behind Sally. You can look through that bag and see if one is suitable for your work. What else can I tell you? All the equipment you need for today, there's all kinds of drawing tools and paper back there for you to get. Any questions?
If they want to check the Hoboken Library Instagram,
Oh, right.
share the video.
Yeah, Laura and the library have created a video on Instagram for us to promote the show. So go to the library Instagram account, like the video, and start sharing it with everyone you know. I'm so proud. We're going to have a great show on Saturday, and we're going to sell art. Woo! And even if you don't sell your art, which happens to me a lot, you're going to get feedback from the audience, and feedback helps you to grow and create new art. What am I trying to do now? I'm looking for Misty Copeland.
Did you want me to close it? I mean, nothing. So
I can't pay you though. I don't want to make you do it for free. No, just relax. Just sit and relax. No, I don't want to make you do that. I think it would be great, but I don't want to make
I'm
you.
not so sure about that, but thank you. Yeah. Should we get material? Yeah.
What?
Would you get materials in?
Yeah. I'm trying to find a picture we have not used before. But I think I'm gonna go with an oldie but goodie because this one, she doesn't have a long tutu on. I know I've used it before, but you can see more of her legs in this one.
Yeah. As long as you see them. Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah, so.
Yes, but we're gonna show it.
We're gonna show.
Yeah, I said the dimensions are 12 by
Yeah, I don't
18.
have anything, everything I have is big. What?
Well, the image inside is 12 by 18.
Yeah.
It's the
It's the frame
frame.
and the mat, yeah. Put a tag on it.
Is this wired? So we're not gonna be able to hang it.
No, but you can put it on the ground. I can wire, I can bring wire. but
Wire it and bring it back.
And
I don't know.
that-
The wire has to go
It's
across the.
plastic, yeah, I have to put nails in it. To put the wire across.
Or to James, maybe there's something he can do.
Mm. Put a bunch of my stuff in there.
What, you could take it out of the frame and see if there's a plastic sleeve to fit in.
Yeah.
I mean, the frame is beautiful, but. All right, so we have a nice big picture of Misty up on the screen, everyone. Look at the proportions. I don't know how to get rid of the toolbar. Laura gets a minute, maybe she can help. It's on, not my laptop, so it's the other machine. I don't know how to use this machine. It's not my machine. I don't even know how to click on it. I'm a Mac person. This is Adele.
This is theirs.
This is the library's. I can't hook my machine up to their cable. There's something wrong with the port on my machine, so they have to, I don't know what this arrangement is.
So can I just ask, so when I do it, I can use their machine, but just go into my email and open
Yes,
up PowerPoint?
yes, yep,
I'm not sure.
yeah. This may be too big.
It's too big?
Well, let's get a rule. Let's see if we can find a rule. The size limit is 12 by 18.
Well, you can take it out of the frame and,
You can put it, yeah, you can do what Susan is doing. Take it out of the frame and put it in a plastic. sleeve. 18. I don't have a
what's the size?
12 by 18.
Okay, but it's gonna be the same size because it really is not much bigger than that. Mine just split.
Mine.
Sign me up here, Donna? Yeah, I'm gonna lock in the
Can't imagine how much stuff is on there.
No. This stuff is all over my house. I just keep finding it. Holding them, and she broke her arm that.
Maybe I will put this one in the top, because there's no why.
This is the other one. Saturday.
Yeah, I have tags. I do my tags. Delivery of and, Usually I'm bringing my.
Also, go to the hardware store. Ask them there, if they're gonna have. They did say yes.
You need to label what the top is, so we don't hang it up something. So on the back, right, top, whichever side is. And your name.
I have, one.
Right, people are drawing already, great. So we can't, obviously, we can't do our warm-ups with this.
Yeah.
No, the phone can be any size you want.
And I'll bring it Saturday morning.
And if you use this as a folder, it's larger than this.
Yeah, because I don't wanna hammer into this with the glass, it's gotta be some way to put the wire that I'm missing.
Yes.
And you can just slide it in there.
Yeah.
Or you can, you know,
It is.
you'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
The eight hardware in Washington.
I have it, I don't have one.
Yeah.
Like a hardware store, right, James?
Huh?
I have like a hardware store, you
Yeah,
can't find anything in my house.
Wonderful. Okay, otherwise Ace Hardware.
So this is the way you want to
Thank
do
you
it.
all. So I can bring that in the morning.
Where you sit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she coming, she said she's coming.
Yeah, but you have to do it early and I. Don't forget you put your name at the top,
Yeah.
what's up, and Vivian. And she has a price. We don't sell it.
Like we did here.
So we're not stopping.
And you need
Thank you so much.
to write your name, first and last, and you have to write top. So we know which is the top.
Oh, you go get your taxes?
Yeah. Let's come over here.
Pen?
We have a whole box of.
I would use
Oh,
this dog.
Yes.
Oh, so now you want to write.
Should I go?
Sure. And 1 minute, Christine. Have to figure out a way to wire. Susan, can you possibly bring a whole roll of wire on Saturday? Are you coming Saturday?
Yeah, I don't know if I have the whole roll, but I can.
All right, I'll bring one. I'll bring one. Mine has a clip to it like that, but we have to have wire. Yeah, we can't hang it like this. So there has to be something. Here's a note for future art shows, everybody. You have to have it wired. This is a rule for every art show. You really need, and I'm sorry, I should have said this right from the beginning and I forgot. You need to wire your art for art shows, framed and wired for hanging.
We had talked about that boards too, so I said, you know.
Right, and well, if it's in a mat board, I said, put it in a plastic sleeve. But if it's framed, it has to be wired in order to put it on a nail or hang it on a display. But it's okay, you didn't know that. So I'm gonna bring wire so we can wire.
Oh my God. Fantastic.
Yeah, James, that looks a little bit.
Well, it's okay, Liz, I already, yeah, I measured it.
Oh, you measured?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right,
You can-
Again, I was always thinking.
Yeah, you need to bring some kind of portfolio.
You put wire on this?
Yeah.
On the wood.
Yeah.
This one.
That's what that's.
Yeah,
really
said.
I got stuff to hammer in.
But I, tax, I don't know.
Oh, no.
You're either going to leave it out or you have to be okay with it.
I missed all the classes where we talked about how to.
Oh,
It has 4 tables.
yeah, I didn't put those details.
Right. Remember, it's not. So like, nobody's gonna want one of those. I would.
So, it was like. No. I know. And so, do that is- So,
And the name is attached to it. Only gets the. Yeah.
Most of them, I think, just give them well, you know.
I mean, wait, I have to say that this kind of stuff might fit. So you have to decide, you want to show your. Now, or you want to show your work. Real critique.
I'm gonna let that's the old stone house. With the group of people from across the. So they ended up, they were doing. No, I think so. This one. This is very tough. And I-
You were doing the real art.
A little different stuff.
Actually, no, you don't have to do this with the framed art. But if you have a lot of artwork that you are willing to let people look through, I would put your signature, and most artists sign in the bottom right, and put it in here for people to look through. Of unframed art, you could do that, okay? And we'll put it on the table. And then people who are walking through the art show can pull it out and look through it and see if they might want to buy some of that stuff. Okay? You might want to. Do you have any blank labels for today?
I have some that I brought. These things.
No, too big. I was thinking a little sticky label. Yeah. But Chrissy, you could make sure you put your signature, put them in a bag, like the plastic one you have, and people might want to buy. Okay?
Oh, no.
Chrissy, when you've done that, you've got to come sign over here by Laura. You have to sign your name. So we're making sure we spell it correctly. So guys, once you've handed in your artwork, you can start working on today's project.
So let's have it.
No, what you get is. It's okay. My brain is not big. My brain is big. But it's double sided, so that might be safe on both sides.
Yeah, we'll see how much work.
Is he coming? That's what you came down here too.
Oh, thank
I took Ally. I get over 3. I don't know, I split.
No, I'm saying. Is what has to
Oh.
do with,
I don't,
there
are always reasons why people move.
What?
Yeah,
Well,
this.
You need a wire. Yeah, I know, but they have 6 a.m. no way of doing it, I guess.
No, but I said, it's time.
All right, we'll go back to my house and see. I heard once. You know what? I will show you Jane music. Jenny, you whipping up your mask on?
No, I'm just lost in something, but I have a piece at home on big.
And you sign orders.
Yes.
Yes.
You let her know if you want to match it.
Yes. 8:30, 8:45 a.m.
I wanted to finish it anyway.
We're gonna have to figure out a way why.
It's something, it sounds like little cartoons, but I made it with my own.
Like this.
But it's big. Now I'm looking at.
So,
why aren't big as
We
this?
lose it live.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll put it in my house.
That way we can flip it.
Oh, okay. What is this?
Yeah.
No, this is.
Yeah. No.
What about this? No,
No,
it's-
I've been saying for a long time, yeah. I actually like this one better.
Yeah. They-
Yeah.
No one won't know.
Okay. You have to write a tag on them.
Really
Oh,
not.
yes.
What?
Really not.
Yeah. Yeah, write a tag.
Really nice.
You can mention it. One pen.
Not a pen.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
I love the color. She's a. It was like that.
I wanted to be more.
The colors are nice.
Love that.
Oh, Maggie's gonna make it. Maggie said she was coming. She's an online student. Need my help?
Do you see the? Are there?
Well, there's no one online today, but yes, you see them,
Oh, on the side, just
on
like
the
in
side. Yeah.
was-
They're either here or across the top.
Is that more likely in the morning that you get people who are?
Yeah. It's the afternoon class most people still don't even know about, and it's only once a month, so.
All right.
When it used to be every Wednesday, then I would get more people in the afternoon than the morning.
Makes sense. It's easier to schedule if you, it's easier to remember. actually. Are there any erasers? I don't see any.
Only on the pencils. I used to bring big pink erasers, but they got so dirty that people would mess up their drawings.
You have to write,
What is it? They probably set up the side. It's 11 by 10, 16 by 10.
Here it goes, it's just one by 18.
What is it?
We'll put it on at home, that's what we put in the wire.
Well, that's a few people.
All right.
Or you bring them in.
Okay.
Want me to change the drawing or you're still working on this one? Sally started wandering, which leads me to believe she's finished her drawing. Now Donna's still drawing, never mind. Ah, here it is. Okay, good.
I'll run over in my pajamas to drop off the art.
Oh, good.
I love the handwriting. Oh, right, that's right, it's your right hand. Yeah, all right,
And I just read this one.
That's right. Okay. What's your title? Right? And that's acrylic paint? I can take on.
Um,
Okay, those of you who are here this morning, I have an announcement to make. It's back on the agenda. Please come tonight if you can.
oh.
Back on the agenda.
Good, I started something like right in front of the right person.
Thank Anna.
Yeah, well, and scratch that, all right, what about the title?
That's nice.
Anyone of you available for the city council meeting tonight? Need supporters for the Marshall P. Johnson sculpture.
Wow,
It's gotten a little contentious, so come
really?
What time is it, Liz?
7 p.m. I
Yeah,
just
have
want
yoga at
bodies.
6:15, I'll come after.
What's your title?
Tell us more about it.
What?
Will you tell us more about this?
Yes, Marsha P. Johnson was a civil rights activist. She was a transgender woman who lived for a while here in Hoboken. She was part of the Stonewall action and she helped start ACT UP. And she was a great hero. She put her life on the line to save people's lives many, many, many times. And it would be a feather in her cap that had this sculpture here, but it would come from all over to visit her. And the artist we have to do the artwork is the artist who just won the contract to do a monument of Harriet Tubman in Philadelphia. So he's the Jersey City artist who's an extremely talented man named Alvin Pettit. You have to win this.
They get it. What did you send the sculpture that they want to? How do you get to it?
You go to the City Hall website and there's a link on the website. You can also go to their Facebook page and get a link, or you can come in person. I would love to have people there in person tonight at 7 p.m. I'm still standing, I'm gonna be sitting. We've been working on this now for almost 3 years.
You know, I'm looking at March and the March, she lives here. I lived there, I lived there 41 years.
She
So,
saved the lives of many, many
yeah,
young
and I,
LGBTQ people right here in
how,
Hoboken.
do you remember?
But we're bringing it back to my house.
Do you remember?
Wire.
That was the first, like, that, that's the, you talking about the fire? No. The fire.
It was the fire.
That was a cop.
It was a cop.
It was a cop, and now there's another cop who's transitioning right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
But,
First one
no,
was
Pat,
China Yellow.
and there were like a few transgender people that lived in Hoboken.
Yeah,
like,
There was a gorgeous man
back
who
in
used to
the day.
walk up and down Washington Street. A lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Oh, what's, she's still around.
She's still alive?
Yeah,
She
she's
was
not,
old.
she's not looking too good. What's her name, Mickey?
Oh, wow.
What's her name?
No, I didn't even do a Janet Ayala, and then the cop now.
No, but the black woman.
Oh,
that's-
Taxi.
Taxi.
That's one you.
She didn't fully transition.
No, but she's been like a transsexual.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Person in
she's
town,
a riot.
That's
She's a
forever.
riot.
Anyway, come if you can, please. This is really a big deal.
But I remember Pat, when I was a kid, Pat the man.
Yeah, that's Pat, Why told me about Pat the man.
Yes, and I mean, we all knew Pat.
Yeah.
We used to ride around on a bike.
Yeah. I wasn't here because I wasn't involved. But
Yeah.
I heard about Pat the man.
Yeah, and I think she was like I think if she was not the first, she was one of the first transgender people
Wow,
ever,
yeah,
like transsexual.
yeah.
Well, no, that's
Like, it-
No, transgender.
Transgender, the first.
not in the history of the world.
Not
Oh.
like first, like surgery, like,
No, not in the history of the world, no.
I think so, though, Pat, I think one of the, Pat, don't call you Pat, Liz. I think one of the first, Liz, we got.
Maybe one of the first, but she was not the very first.
She wasn't the very first, but she was one of the first.
That I
I
accept.
remember that being a big deal.
I accept that.
And nobody bothered her. Like, nobody.
I don't think the objection to this monument, although it may be perceived as such, is about LGBTQ issues.
I don't think it's necessarily against the LGBTQ community, but I think what it is this is Fourth and Hudson, and the last few nice ladies walk by to go to St. Paul Church, and maybe this just isn't the corner in Hoboken, that's what I think it is.
I think this is about politics. That's what I think. But we are actually being recorded, so we can talk about it.
Yes.
Oh, really?
That would be smart.
This is to get a
Too bad.
statute, but ACT UP, that wasn't about changing the gender, it was just about
Yes.
getting accepted as a gay person, wasn't it?
No, ACT UP was about getting medication for people who had AIDS.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually.
AIDS,
Yes,
that's not changing your gender,
no.
that's a different thing, so don't yes, I'm gonna finish the sentence yet. It's not about changing your gender, it's about getting medicine
Yes.
for
Yeah.
medical
No,
treatment.
I think it's just like.
But that was started because young
She was one of the
gay people
founders
couldn't
of
get
ACT UP.
good care that they needed, and they couldn't afford it.
Absolutely. Well, at that point, it was thought to be a gay disease.
Yeah.
Larry Kramer was a big.
Yes.
I saw him, he was at my hospital several times, walking through the lobby because his medical care.
He was an incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Yep.
what's his name? Dr.
Fauci.
And
They were,
They were dead enemies, and now, well,
then they became,
Kramer's dead now.
yeah.
They became very close
Yeah.
friends.
Wow.
It was flexible, but you don't see.
You know, this one, glasses on. Oh, wait, I'll take the one. What the darn you have? That my battery.
You know, how did I pose?
Yes.
That would be better. This is the photo.
I can't.
Yes, having one picture up on the screen for the whole class, it's boring, right?
Well, it's hard to see for me.
All right, so I'm gonna pose.
Tell us when it's opposed, Liz.
This is the vote.
This is opposed. Sorry, I'm not getting so many texts from people who want to know about this meeting tonight, so.
All right, I'm good.
Going through the background, the waterfall views.
The speedy stroke, I'm here.
Yes.
She's posing.
Maggie's here. Maggie, you can bring your art to Laura, okay? Laura is a beautiful lady at the back.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Take it. Maybe you should pose for me. Keep your hands as a pretzel. I kept on my pretzels. Okay.
Gosh, Maggie, it's the first time I've seen you in person.
Yeah.
Woo!
You're real. You're not a robot. I'm not a robot.
So would you please look and see me the plane or not?
I'm telling you, I'm resistant.
I'm gonna set the timer on this. This will be, a 10-minute pause, okay?
I know, that's why I said, I'll probably do it, your questions will green color, that's something there.
So I will stop this pause in 10 minutes and then I'll strike another pose. Jackie, you can, once you turn in your artwork, if you want, you can sit down and draw.
Eyes are itching, I'm itching.
Yeah, sit anywhere you want.
You didn't create art. Paper, I got paper there. See? Paper there. There's any paper, just put it in.
Thank God for my free family and friends.
What do you really want? You know what I mean? The art. So I'll bring you the fire. Yeah. I will. Wires on the. Oh, that was good.
Mind up, right? I told you to put the wire closer to the top.
On this.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, thank you.
If I forgot we're using those display units. You're not hanging it on the wall. put it in the middle, it's gonna tilt forwards. We don't want that.
Okay.
Standing low down, that's right, that's one of them. No, not really. I'm not gonna draw it. Yeah, yeah. It's hard to draw from the screen, right? I want you to sit down and draw me. I'm drawing from life. You have time to sit down and draw? Draw, look at me, draw me. Good.
Places.
Twelve by 18.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I only asked you that. Sorry.
Joseph.
Numbers are. I saw him advertised for that, I think. But it was a while ago.
When Google is gonna shut down at 9, you were old.
Guys, sorry. Some people need quiet. Left in this phones, everybody. Actually, there are 15-minute pause. Everybody good? Problem is when I post, I can't come out. But most of you folks are my veterans.
Okay, but say it with me, I can say.
Spider veins. Road maps. Okay, go. I can't see Maggie. Show me after.
I love that.
You have to go, Robin? Yeah. Okay, feel better. Bye, Robin. Bye. Thanks for coming, Robin. Good to see you. Wipe down the tables list. After your class? Yes. There are paper tails out there. No, I'm wiping it down. Pastels. Yeah, they're very nasty. Usually we have tablecloths.
some reason not to that.
It's nice, so.
I had to open it up on this.
You know, I had to figure out, so the same cat comes in.
No, I'm really
But
good.
but it's not good, you know, because the cat, only really wrong.
Yeah.
You know, the guy,
That's. It's Saturday, Robin.
excuse me.
Sorry.
What time?
I'm gonna run down, I may be late, I hope it's not the first thing they do. It is,
Number one on the, well, it was this morning, number one.
Yeah. You never know.
Never know.
I hope you're doing all day.
keep me posted. You don't have enough.
What's the size again? 18 by. Yeah, but in the email. But let me look at you wired for Saturday. Jen. I think we're not.
So under 3 minutes now on this call. Finish up.
Don't change it on us now.
I think that bad. My parents. I was late for my sleep.
I was going to do that this time, but I decided. Well, I couldn't just run out.
Naked.
Yeah, we had rates and models.
Everybody talks about it, Jamie.
I had them in high school too.
Remember, we had a model of an old man who would stand on one, the model stands and it had a frame, right? And he would stand on one leg and move his, some kind of
Oh,
strap
my.
over it, so you had no way to decide where the weight was except this one leg. And he was very proud of this, thing that he would do.
Talent.
It was a talent on his part. For us, it was just. Miss it on.
We had some strange model at Brooklyn Museum Art School, some really strange clowns.
I was the one who was both afraid of parasol, and she said there was
We had pregnant models.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, that was great. Alice. Yeah.
Yes, Alice Neal. That's.
Just figure. You're afraid of. What are afraid of?
I mean, there are no supplies.
Yeah.
If you want to come to my house before I go away to get art supplies, I bring all this.
Oh, I. Think that will have to.
So. What time is it? So we still have a good 20 minutes. Or actually 15 minutes. So cleanup time.
Right, so that.
Oh, and we have a hard stop at 3 today. Laura needs to get away, 3 o'clock, so we have a hard stop at 3. It's now almost 2:40, so why don't we finish up with a 15-minute pose? I need to check, everyone has turned in their art? Everyone has made sure they're on the list and your names are correct, first and last names are spelled correctly? You've indicated whether you're gonna have lunch.
Can I read everybody's last name? Yours is W-E-I-S. S-U-S. And then, the James, that's what it is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Two dollars. Thank you.
Yeah, we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's not lost.
Very. No, she takes, they're the art students, right? Other children to give her a gift package of lessons.
Oh, God. That's very nice.
Okay, so let's finish up with no, it's gonna have to be a 10-minute pause because we need time to clean up. Okay, 10-minute pause. No. Not yet. I have to set the time. Okay, begin.
Where'd you join them? You're welcome. Yes.
Oh, no.
Bye, Alice.
Bye.
See you Saturday.
Safe travels.
Wow. Oh my God, Maggie. Wow. You're fast.
You took a great adventure.
Yeah.
'Cause you were in this morning's class, Mackie.
Online.
It's at least an hour and a half between, right?
Depends where.
Yes.
Still gets read.
So after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, she's not. I know.
Well, that's a great, I was here, Ellen.
Helen, go talk to Laura.
I know.
Sorry, go to Laura in the back, Helen.
This is the pink of lights, right?
Rocking. You think you are? You think you are?
Yeah, you're rocking.
Maybe if you had been in the middle, the light would have been more. You want me to know?
No. Oh, wow. No moving.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Lot of stress. Drama. 59 million emails, people yelling at me.
Oh, so the thing is
All
tonight,
this started at 10 o'clock last night.
the thing is on tonight at 7 at City Hall.
Yes.
Trying to get my photo over there. At City Hall, so. Because you probably. Oh, I'm trying to get the statue of, some people want to be Johnson. Can you stick it in this bag?
Yeah. Which kid retirement, I'm just curious about asking model. What do you think?
Left.
Or black? All right, actually it worked out that way.
I'm not wearing the best clothes for mine.
Yeah, I don't say anything for that.
No loose baggy.
And we have a piece of paper in this here. Oh, the telephone number? Can you put your number? I don't put it on.
If your work is framed, you don't have to put it in the plastic.
Okay, thank you.
Laura, tell her, it doesn't have to.
No, that's all right, the paper's lying around, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Yeah, this paper's posted, I don't wanna lose all the
Gotcha.
information, but return it back to you.
Oh, Helen, you made it. You did good. So glad.
This way, thank you, Helen. Thank you for coming in.
Woo! Gonna have an art show. Laura, you have a tape measure. Awesome. I was measuring using my knuckles.
Oh, yeah. Your max.
Your wow.
That's your max over here?
She worked with you and that's. Oh, you kidding me? You don't even- From my past. In the 50 years. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's coming in Queens, so come by 11 to 10:30.
Yeah, come whenever you want, Mackie. You've delivered your artwork, so you're free to come and go whenever you want. The show runs from 11 till 3 p.m. The only people I want to come at 11 and stay till 3 are the people who are bringing a whole folder full of work. If you bring a whole folder full of work to put on our table,
You can sit there all day.
it would be good for you to come and sit to talk about your work,
Starts at 11.
because I'm gonna be too busy to talk about each and every one of these.
Sit with a couple of images.
That could be great if you come for the whole day. It'll be fun. And since you're traveling so far, I mean, I would stay for the whole day. You could, and you can check out a little piece of Hoboken.
And remember, it is rain or shine.
It's supposed to be nice on the weekend. right?
Saturday, yeah.
For once, we're lucky.
It's foreshortened me as a killer.
You can show them.
It's just enlarge it, make it look
I don't know how.
more.
Pieces you don't-
That's the trick.
Bigger, more, bigger, bigger. I mean, you feel like you can carry. Maybe when I got spread out, you'll have one area at a table where you can share. Like you're talking. You should show people.
Maybe done.
But you won't be spread out.
It's a little over a minute. And then we're gonna quit, and we're gonna move quickly cleaning up. I'm looking at you, Donna. We have to be out of here exactly at 3 o'clock. No chatting. Donna, you can do it. You got here early today. You can get out on time. And one last reminder, Hoboken residents, if you could make it to the city council meeting tonight, I would be so appreciative.
How long do they usually run?
Correct. We're supposed to be first, Susan.
Is there an online one thing?
Yes, you can come online.
I think I'll do it online.
Yeah, always. I think
Because I
it's
have a
always.
Zoom till like 1:07, I'm never gonna make it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a link on the city website, on their Facebook page,
Yeah,
on YouTube.
yeah, that I will do.
In person's always better because the council people are always impressed by numbers, but
Oh, yeah,
they know when people are online.
I like to yell at them.
Yeah, I like when you do.
Especially in my board person.
She's, I think, on our side on this one.
Well, that's good. Doesn't do anything.
She was on the committee. On the original committee, for a long, I tried to get her reappointed, but that didn't.
Yeah.
She actually worked hard for our East Town.
That's good. Be something. Oy vey, Sachen vey.
All right, clean up, guys. I will see you Saturday. I'm so proud of everyone. We have learned a lot in the last, God knows how many years. I've learned from you, you've learned from me. We're awesome. And we're gonna have an art show, thanks to the Hoboken Public Library. And we gotta clean up. Here's Matt. He's come to take the computer away. We are done, done, done. Folks at home, I hope you enjoyed learning about Michelangelo. If you are in town on Hoboken this coming Saturday between the hours of 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., come check out the Hoboken Library Showcase. Is that what it's called, Laura? Okay. all kinds of things. We're gonna have art, dance. I forget what else.
Sale, local authors, robot making, makerspace,
Book sale, local authors,
popcorn.
popcorn, robots, makerspace. It's going to be incredible. Music too, right? Live music. It's going to be the greatest festival until the following weekend when we have the Hoboken Art and Music Festival. But cool. Come on out this Saturday, 11 a.m., 3 p.m., Church Square Park, directly across the street from the beautiful Hoboken Library. See you all soon and see you next week for Art with Liz. Take care, everyone. And arrivederci.